I could never in my wildest nightmare had ever imagined the horrors that could be plunged into the most simplest of life's enjoyments. The darkness that could invade my world. Whether it be real or fictional, it started on a day me and my girlfriend was talking about video games and we used to grow up. The game that I we used to enjoy over the years of my childhood had collected several games, tempering to several different consoles. We both found the ta- topic, the Nintendo 64, to be most fun. So that day, we decided to our uncle's video games, pick up one from my uncle's video store, one of my uncle's video stores, and perhaps picking up the greatest Nintendo 64 title, Mario 64. Now, when we that got there, it looks like sometimes it looks a lot like browsing, but we were able to find the game after an hour, and so several bins hour or in several bins had been placed throughout the store, and only copies had it appeared. Also, well as that, we are able to find the N64, and then very last, I mean, then the very last one had been stocked. Ironically, ironically, the best part about it was we gave it. He gave us it for free. He told us that he had brought up and returned nearly 15 times since it came to possession, and now he could just look. He was just getting ready. Now he was looking to get rid of it. He also told me that ironically the game was always returned with it as well. They always seemed to be brought together. He had strange heard that something was wrong with one another, and that people even went as far as telling him that they were evil, made in hell, things like that. Think how only heard the story by 15 times, 15 customers. I brushed it off and just some hysterical story and told people that who decides that simply won't keep the system. So, excuse me if you will, you gave him $20 for the Super Mario 64? Cheap jerk. Gave me the N64 for free, I thought. We went back home after being gone about an hour and a half. We have we When we got home, I laid the system in the TV living room, started to rummage through the old boxes. We're actually keeping this sort of old games, wrangled, wrangling from classic Atari games and even popular Dreamcast. It was actually sort of strange, because in this box I found that I own every major console except for N64. Well known now, or until now, or anyways. I pulled out the box of N64 games and I put it in. I In it, I began to dig through it. Found a game like The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, as well as the sequel Majora's Mask, and the two casable titles of the system itself, Castlevania 64 Legends of Darkness, and so on. Then it's time to hook it up. After everything we set up, my girlfriend decided that she wanted to put in Super Mario 64 first. After some sort effort, the game was ready to go. It's a it's a me, Mario. It's a me, Mario. It's called out in the upbeat pitch. My girlfriend decided that it's mess with Mario's face, but bit before pressing start, uh, her color, her purple controller, and the screen translated to the file select screen. There were files already on the game. In fact, four slots were filled, and with each starter because the game had no stars and on any file. So we just started deleting them. Afterwards, we decided file 1. However, the game froze, and they were defending screen coming up our TV speakers. It sounded almost like if someone was screaming from the game itself. My girlfriend turned off the system for about 5 seconds. After a moment, she flipped back on it, and the file select screen. Strangely enough, the file had been deleted on file 1 was back, and the time it had 66 stars. The time it had 66 stars. This time it had 66 stars, even though previously it had none. So once more, she decided it was again. It made a loud screeching sound. This time, I swear to God that it was louder than before. The point that we fell off our cover our ears. We fell back and covered our ears. As I was, I, as I was closer to unplug the system itself, I jerked it off the wall. This time it was bothering me. I looked at the game system and took it to the kitchen. I turned it ready, dusty, which explains at less to me why the game was reacting the way it was, although it was still weird. After clearing the cube tip, it took it back. I took it back to the living room. I handled it. I handed it to her. She plugged the console back into the wall, and we were ready to go. By now, it was starting to get dark. There were no lights in the living room. We couldn't find a plug to our lamp because the system of the TV took out the outlet. So we were forced to play it in the dark. For me, something didn't feel right. because for some reason I felt a sense of nervousness and that I could not quite explain. I shook it off and tried and turn it on the system. When we were back, the files selected each screen that were previously gone, oddly enough, which confirmed my suspicions, but the 30 messed up game messed up. So we started a new game and on a file 1, and we selected a ledger, a large, like it were a CD or something. But afterwards, about a minute, start up normally. We got to the opening scene, and Peach inviting Mario to the castle.
And the camera, as usual, followed up the pathway to the giant green pipe which Mario leaped out of. She was in control of the game and took Mario directly to the castle. When she opened the door to the castle, there was a prolonged pause which made me nervous. Once again, there were loud screeching that ruined the game previously shot through her ears, and it felt like glasses dragged into my eardrums. We were both overwhelmed because the terrible screaming could not even get the resistance to the plug. After about 30 seconds, it stopped, and we looked up to the TV. Mario Wilson had somehow found his way to Big Blue's haunt, as the mansion had never appeared this creepy when I used to play it over. It loomed over Mario said ominously. "What the?" I said as I regained myself. My girlfriend was still getting herself together, and it took her a minute to process what was going on. I told the controller and took a good look at the mansion itself. It was nothing like it was supposed to be. It had castle-like features actually, and totally in blood and rust. The sky had black and red colors about it, covered by the black clouds that seemed to pass by in an instant. I noticed that a new tower now coming out of the mansion. Upon getting a good look at it, I noticed several figures hanging from it. The whole screen faded white, like it does in the entrance room when you look up at the skylight and know what the war that you obtained a wing cap in.
When Mario reappeared, he had somehow made it onto the top of the tower, on the platform. That way. Oh, that way. Around. The sky was gloomy and as each passed over the tower, as dark as night sky. The lightning began to rule the sky and illuminate the clouds and thunderous wake. I tried for a finish time to move Mario forward, but the bolt of lightning stopped me at the moved at while trying to make the move. I dropped my controller. My heart began to race. I didn't know what to expect. I could seen by looking into my girlfriend's eyes how strong sense and paranormal had came over her. But constantly I noticed her looking behind us to the shadows and cupboards in the room. With haste, I took the controller hand and moved Mario a foot towards something that fell on top of the screen. The camera zoomed in on it. It was It was description of Mario with a nose around his neck. When Mario reappeared, somehow crazy. In several parts of his body. Underneath the clothes we made out stab wounds and knife, either a knife or a dagger, which more likely than cause of blood splattered all over the skin remaining clothes. But most grotesquely, part of the image was the eyelids and the mouth, shut with blood trickling down cheeks and chin. I was appealed to the gruesome sight. My heart was racing. I would swear the day that at the moment that dead Mario fell from the top of the screen, I heard something running into my bedroom. All the hanged figures of Mario was exactly the same, with eyelids and mouth shut and stab wounds all over the bodies. I woke up I woke up all I worked up all the courage I could muster. I unplugged the N64, which turned off, but not at the instant before the TV screen went black before the Mario hung the black the Hank Mario face. Underneath his snow lips was smirking at us. It was I didn't want to get up. Not even to turn off the lights. I wanted to remain in exactly the same spot sitting down, because at least I felt safe. I felt somewhat safe. But my girlfriend, Snake, I unplugged the lamp and lit the room up. Everything was peaceful. Perhaps I calm after the storm. I took a deep breath and sat back down, but I can't get that image off my head, that spark. I felt powerless, as what my mind wanted to remain on. I sat on the floor next to my girlfriend and hugged her, picked up her, and took a look to her, the, to the bed. Who in the hell made a game like that? It had to be a game. It had to be a hack. It is the only thing that made sense to me. That I saw the game that would define as evil its sick form.